Do you regret not speaking up earlier about President Biden's decision to run for re-election in 2024?
No, I didn't really know, quite frankly.
Didn't know.
Let me just say what I did about Joe Biden, because it's been written about in a way that really didn't happen. All I said to him was this, and you're going to hear this for the first time. And so is he.
I guess I'm writing. Go ahead. I'm ready.
I only said to President Biden, I've come to question the polling that you have and how your campaign is being conducted.
Yeah.
I think there has to be a better campaign to win the White House.
What do you say?
And so, it's always a thing about women talking, you know. So, let me finish, okay? So anyway, I said, I would, now this is what I asked. I didn't ask him not to run or anything like that. This is what I asked. I would hope that we could have some other pollsters come in and sit with your pollster and discuss what they hear out there. Because at that point, 72% of the American people didn't think he should run or could serve a term. I don't think he knew that. Okay, so let's hear from some other pollsters. Okay, and that can give us a real better. I'm not a big believer in polling in terms of who's ahead in a race, but I am believing understanding what the public is thinking, because we represent them, so we have to know that. So I thought that his post, oh, listen to this, this is what they have to say, and I had to listen to that. But I said, that's interesting. It may be right, but it may not, because right now, it ain't working. So I just think that for the campaign to continue and to prevail, which we must win, we should have other pollsters involved. And I did say this, I think the public would like to hear that you've had a testing that demonstrates that you can serve the next
A diagnostic
job.
from a doctor, yeah.
Like that.
Right.
That's all I said. I didn't say, they said, I told him not to run. Never. I've never told anybody not to run.
Right. How did he respond? Can I ask you now? How did he respond, can I ask?
He responded, we were prayerful, you know, we're Catholic, we're prayerful, we had our rosaries and all that, and we had a lovely meeting. It was only the two of us, except when he put somebody on the phone to talk about the polls. So whatever people said about it there didn't come from me, or maybe it came from somebody in his staff, but none of his staff was really in the room.
Yeah.
He said, I get tested every day in what I'm doing and the rest of that. I said, I think people want to see something more in that regard. And then I went from there to the MSNBC.
Morning Joe.
And they asked me, this was a show of long standing. I was going with
Belarus.
Belarus. Thank you for remembering. Belarus was, this woman was elected president of Belarus, but the thugocracy that is there, beholden to the thugocracy in Russia and other thugocracy, shall we say, would not let her serve, imprisoned her husband, who was the candidate, and then she came, Svetlana is her name, she's a remarkable woman. And I promised Svetlana early on, when her husband was in prison, he's out now, but when he was in prison, that we would work hard to have him freed, and because the children missed their dad, all this stuff. And I said we would do this, and this. And one of them was I would go with her to MSNBC and talk about what's happening in Belarus, because human rights have been a big thing for me. So, and of course, Belarus was important in terms of what it was doing in Ukraine and all that. So anyway, they asked the question, do you think and I said, that's up to the president.
Yes.
And that answer, which I thought was perfectly appropriate, that's up to the president, was viewed as, I don't know. And so it grew into this thing. I had never called anybody about this, never talked to anybody that I called. Some people called me. I said, you have to do what you have to do. Because I want to come out and say you shouldn't run, all this. I said, well, I'm not encouraging that. That's your business.
Yeah.
Don't even tell me about it. But when that happened, I was deluged with elected officials saying, you gave me a path. I didn't intend to give you a path, but they took it as a path. And when you think of the debate and how sad that was, that's really when we learned. Because see, I had been Speaker, and when I was Speaker, I saw the President all the time. But when I wasn't, then I saw maybe 3 times that whole year. And so I didn't know, and I think he had his sort of ups and downs. And when he had when I saw him one time, he was giving me the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Right.
So that was a short event, and he was perfectly fine that day, I thought. Yeah. And so I didn't know. But I do think that those who did know should have acted upon that information, whatever that means.
His staff and his family both, you mean?
Well, whoever knew.
Yeah.
Whoever knew. The staff is saying the family knew, the family saying the staff knew. I don't know.
But they should have acted sooner.
They should have, because this was a great man. He had, when we had the 2 years with him and in the majority, did great things. We had the rescue package, the rescue from COVID. We had the CHIPS Act. We had the infrastructure bill.
Yeah.
We had the PACT Act to honor our veterans. We had IRA to save the planet. He did remarkable things. People said it was a phenomenal presidency on a par with what LBJ did, but in a short period of time. And then, again, that happened. But anyway, he's wonderful and everything. I'm sorry to hear about what his son has said about his illness. But Joe Biden was a great president, accomplished a great deal. He just didn't advertise it.
Yeah.
Lincoln said public sentiment is everything. With it, you can accomplish almost anything. Without it, practically nothing. You've heard me say that. But
once or twice,
public sentiment to prevail, people have to know. So you have to use your bully pulpit if you're president. I said, tell people what you have done. And he did great things.
Well, thanks for that contribution to the historical record. I said I was going to ask you about the past, and that was an incredibly vivid accounting that I think will be very useful, especially the part about him not getting the diagnostic test that I think could have helped clear some of these concerns.
Well, I don't know that he didn't.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I don't think he ever did. So the question